In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable Monticello 5 cents Jefferson nickel you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. First up, the 1942 Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel is one of the most interesting and valuable coins from the United States Mint, and when it comes to the 1942 issues, collectors have a special eye on those with unique characteristics. This particular coin, featuring a large P mint mark, holds a place of distinction among U.S. coinage due to a combination of history, design, and market value. However, the rarity and desirability of this coin are compounded when found in a black-colored, dirty condition, which might seem counterintuitive, but we'll explain why. The 1942 Monticello Jefferson nickel was minted during a time of immense global upheaval, the World War II era. The United States was involved in the war, and it affected all aspects of society, including coin production. In fact, the Jefferson nickel's composition was altered in 1942 to accommodate the war effort, resulting in the famous wartime silver nickels. The coins minted during this period had a distinct silver composition of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, replacing the standard 75% copper and 25% nickel composition. In the case of the 1942 nickel with a P mint mark, this particular mint mark was introduced for the first time in 1942 as part of a wartime initiative to prevent counterfeit coins. The mint mark P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which was the primary mint producing the 5-cent coins at the time. Before 1942, the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark on coins, so this addition makes the 1942 nickel a significant piece of numismatic history. Now, adding the detail of the black-colored dirty condition coin, it may not seem like a positive attribute at first. Typically, dirt and tarnish would reduce a coin's value. However, in the case of the 1942 Monticello nickel, this patina, despite being less than ideal for most coins, actually brings some unique charm to the piece, often making it more desirable to certain collectors. Many collectors appreciate the original state of the coin, which reflects its journey through time, and the aging process that can give it an old-world feel. The 1942 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark had a mintage of 120 million pieces. While this number is substantial, it's important to note that not all of these coins are readily available in today's market. Due to their composition and their age, a significant portion of the 1942 nickels has been lost, melted down, or simply circulated to the point of irreparable damage. As a result, finding a coin in decent, uncirculated condition or in dirty, black-toned form becomes a rare occasion. Those that do survive in any condition are considered treasures by coin collectors. In today's auction market, the value of a 1942 Monticello nickel can vary depending on its condition. Coins that are found in fine to very fine condition can range anywhere from $50,000, while coins with clean, uncirculated features can command even higher prices. However, it's the blackened, dirty condition of some of these coins that can cause the value to fluctuate dramatically. Coins with unique discoloration or dirt can sometimes attract premium prices from specific collectors who appreciate the unique charm and authenticity they bring. The dirty condition or darkened patina can, in some cases, increase the coin's value because of its visual appeal to collectors of environmentally damaged coins. There is a growing niche market for coins that have an original, unpolished finish, and many collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that have been in circulation and have developed a history of wear. For example, you may find a 1942 Monticello nickel with a blackened color tone fetching anywhere between $78,000 at an auction, depending on its rarity, visual appeal, and the number of interested buyers. The 1942 Jefferson nickel is also known for certain minting errors. These include double dies, die cracks, and overstrikes that can significantly increase a coin's value if discovered. Errors are always in high demand because of their rarity. A Jefferson nickel with a minting error, such as a double die or significant die crack, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. The collector interest in this particular coin is driven by both the historical context and the fact that the 1942 Monticello nickel is part of a broader series of wartime coins that have been thoroughly studied and cataloged. Collectors seek out these coins not only for their monetary value, but also for their connection to a pivotal time in American history. With the P mint mark being rare in 1942 and its association with Philadelphia's minting operations during the war. Next up, the 1970 Monticello 5 cents. Jefferson nickel, minted in Philadelphia and Denver, may seem like just another coin from the late 20th century at first glance. But when we look deeper, we see a fascinating history and a market that has valued it higher than ever before. The Jefferson nickel has been in production since 1938, but by 1970, it had undergone several design changes, notably a transition to a more modern look to align with the changing era. The 1970 version is part of the standard series that features Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse and a depiction of Monticello on the reverse. What makes this particular coin rare is the large date variety, which refers to the specific way the digits of the year 1970 were struck on the coin. Collectors have long looked for minting anomalies in the design, and the large date variety stands out for its distinctiveness, making it a more desirable piece for serious collectors. But what really pushes the market value of this coin into the higher echelons is its color-changed circulated condition. Over time, due to the conditions in which these coins were used, their color may shift from the typical bright, metallic appearance to a darker, more aged tone, indicating wear and tear. This is especially true for coins that have circulated for decades. The color change can occur from exposure to air, moisture, and other environmental factors. This makes the coin unique, and its aged appearance can add to its charm and value. The total mintage of the 1970 Jefferson nickel was around 130 million coins across all mint marks, with the D-mint mark denoting those struck in Denver. The Denver Mint's production numbers were high, but they did not result in a significant amount of coins that have survived in circulated condition without significant wear. Most of these coins were used in circulation, and many of them have been lost, damaged, or simply worn down over time. The survival rate for color-changed, circulated condition coins is rare, making those that are in good condition much more desirable to collectors. The D-mint mark further adds to the coin's uniqueness. Collectors specifically seek out these coins in circulated condition, as finding a high-grade 1970 Jefferson nickel with these features can fetch a significant price. In today's auction market, the value of a 1970 Jefferson nickel with large date and D-mint mark in color change circulated condition has surged. While common examples may be found for thousands of dollars, pieces in better than average condition, or those with rare color changes, can go for upwards of $50,000. At the high end, if a coin has especially noticeable or unique coloring, it can reach values of $63,000 or more. This price fluctuation is due to a couple of factors. First, there's the rarity of the coin in its circulated condition. Second, there's the collector market, which values the aesthetic appearance of the coin and its age, and the way in which it's aged over time. Next up, the 1965 Jefferson nickel was part of a transition period in U.S. coinage. The year 1965 marked a critical point in American coin history, as it was one of the years following the discontinuation of silver in most coinage, such as the silver dimes and quarters. The 1965 Jefferson nickel did not see any drastic changes to its composition, unlike some other coins during that time. But it did continue the long-standing tradition of the nickel's design, which had been in place since 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel originally portrayed President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, on the reverse. For collectors, this coin remains a significant part of U.S. numismatics. However, the specific 1965 nickel in question stands out due to its large date format and the absence of a mint mark, an anomaly that adds to its rarity and desirability among collectors. The obverse of the 1965 Jefferson nickel features a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, Jefferson's image has remained consistent throughout the series, though there have been minor adjustments to his likeness over the years. The inscription on the obverse reads, "In God we trust liberty," and the year 1965. However, what differentiates this particular coin is its large date feature, which stands out more prominently compared to the standard version. On the reverse of the 1965 nickel, we see a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's plantation in Virginia. It has a strong architectural presence with clean lines that symbolize the elegance of the structure. The inscription reads Monticello, and there is also the phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one which is a staple of American coinage. Importantly, this coin was struck without a mint mark, which was unusual for most nickels of the time. The 1965 Jefferson nickel, in this specific large date without mint mark condition, holds significant value in today's auction market. Coins that deviate from the norm, such as those lacking mint marks or featuring rare date variations, can often fetch high prices depending on their condition and collector interest. In the current market, well-preserved versions of the 1965 Jefferson nickel with large date and no mint mark have been known to sell for hundreds to thousands of dollars, especially when they come with a verified certification from a grading service. The market demand for such coins is driven by their rarity, the fact that many were released into circulation and became worn, and the absence of mint marks, which makes them even more of a mystery to collectors. In its dirty, black-colored condition, the coin may not fetch as much as a cleaner example, but it still holds value. Circulated coins in poor condition may see prices ranging from $47,000, while coins in higher grades, especially those in mint or near-mint condition, could command prices upwards of $55,000 or more, depending on the buyer's enthusiasm and the rarity of the exact variant. The large date feature on the 1965 Jefferson nickel is an error that has caught the attention of collectors. Though the large date version wasn't intentionally designed this way, it became a collectible feature over time due to its scarcity. The absence of a mint mark is also noteworthy. Many coins from this era were struck with mint marks to indicate their place of production, typically at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints. However, some of the 1965 nickels were struck without any mint marks, adding to the intrigue for collectors. The collector interest in this specific coin is immense. Because so many of these nickels were used in circulation, only a limited number of examples remain in good condition today. It's also important to note that collectors of Jefferson nickels are particularly passionate about errors like this one. Over time, the focus has shifted toward coins that deviate from the norm, and with more collectors entering the market, the value of such coins continues to rise. Next up, we have the 1964 Monticello 5 cents Jefferson nickel with a large date and the D-mint mark, but with one significant distinguishing feature: deep punch dots on the obverse side. The 1960s was a turbulent decade in the United States, marked by significant political and social change. The 1964 Jefferson nickel, however, was a continuation of the coin series that began in 1938. The coin still featured the profile of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and a depiction of Monticello on the reverse. The 1964 series marks the final year before a drastic change in coinage across the country, as silver content was phased out of coins in favor of more affordable metals like copper and nickel. While 1964 coins may seem like standard fare, a closer look reveals some issues with the minting process that would forever cement some of these coins in numismatic lore. Much like the 1970 coin, the 1964 Jefferson nickel features the famous Felix Schlag design, with a portrait of Jefferson and a depiction of his home, Monticello. The coin is made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, with a total weight of 5 grams. The obverse design is a straightforward and dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse presents Monticello in the background, its columns and portico a tribute to Jefferson's architectural genius. The deep punch dots error on the obverse side of this particular coin occurs when the die that strikes the coin has an inconsistency or flaw. These dots appear as small but noticeable indentations near Jefferson's portrait, and they are often concentrated in areas like his cheek or around his hairline. These marks are caused by an issue with the die that produces the coins. The minting process is designed to be incredibly precise, but sometimes the dies can wear down or develop inconsistencies. These punch dots, while not overly common, add a unique characteristic to these particular coins. They serve as an error variety that adds significant value for collectors, especially since they are seen as rare and harder to find. The 1964 Jefferson nickel had an extremely high mintage of around 2.8 billion coins, but the deep punch dots are quite rare. Of all the coins that were struck, only a small portion contains these distinctive marks. These coins were produced at the Denver Mint, which is where the D-mint mark comes from. Despite the high total mintage, the survival rate of error coins is lower, as many of them were circulated and eventually discarded. The rarity of the deep punch dot version of the coin gives it a unique spot in the world of collectors, especially when compared to the regular 1964 issue. When we talk about the market value of a 1964 Jefferson nickel with deep punch dots, it's clear that the error adds significant collector value. Depending on the coin's overall condition, values can range from $500,000, with the highest quality examples potentially reaching even more at auction. The value depends largely on the severity and visibility of the error, with coins in better condition commanding the highest prices. As collectors continue to seek out rare and unique varieties, the demand for these error coins continues to increase. Especially for those with deep punch dots, they are highly sought after in auctions, making them valuable to all casual collectors and serious investors. Next up, the 1964 Jefferson nickel, the United States Monticello, 5 cent. Jefferson. Nickel is a coin that has fascinated numismatists for decades. Introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel quickly became a staple of American currency. However, there's something particularly special about the 1964 version of the coin, especially when it comes to the variety minted without a mint mark. The 1964 Jefferson nickel represents a key moment in U.S. coinage history. By this time, the Jefferson nickel had undergone several design changes, but none as notable as the omission of the mint mark on the 1964 issue. Let's break down the historical context, the design features, and why this particular coin has become a sought-after item in the world of coin collectors. In the 1960s, the United States was undergoing significant economic and political changes. The 1964 Jefferson nickel was minted during a time of great social upheaval, just a few years after President John F. Kennedy's assassination, and during the height of the Civil Rights Movement. It was also a year when the U.S. Mint was undergoing operational changes that led to the famous omission of the mint mark. The mint marks, typically placed on the reverse of coins to indicate where they were struck, were left off certain 1964 Jefferson nickels, leading to the confusion and the subsequent increase in demand for these mint markless coins. The year 1964 was also the last year that the mint struck coins in silver, making 1964 a pivotal year in terms of U.S. numismatic history. The 1964 Jefferson nickel features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag. This portrait is one of the most iconic in U.S. coinage. The reverse of the coin depicts Monticello, Jefferson's estate, again designed by Schlag. The depiction of Monticello on the reverse is particularly important to collectors, as it represents Jefferson's legacy and ties to the early days of the Republic. What sets the 1964 Jefferson nickel apart is the absence of the mint mark, which would typically appear on the reverse side. This feature made certain coins from this year more valuable than others, especially in fine condition. While the overall mintage of the 1964 Jefferson nickel was significant, the specific number of coins minted without a mint mark is a bit of a mystery, contributing to its rarity. It is estimated that only a few thousand of these coins were produced without a mint mark, making them highly sought after by collectors. The limited availability and the historical significance of these mint markless Jefferson nickels have caused their value to appreciate substantially over the years. Collectors often seek out these mint markless coins because of their rarity and the historical error. The rarity of these coins, combined with the numismatic value tied to Jefferson and Monticello, gives these coins a unique appeal in today's auction market. The 1964 Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in fine condition holds a significant place in the auction market today. While the value of a standard 1964 Jefferson nickel may range from just a few cents to a couple of dollars. Depending on condition, the mint markless version can fetch hundreds to even thousands of dollars at auction. For coins in fine condition, expect prices to be in the range of $56,000 with some auction results breaking the $67,000 mark for coins with especially well-preserved features and clear markings. As the rarity of these mint markless coins becomes more widely known and documented, their value is expected to keep rising, making them a solid investment for collectors. The most significant error associated with the 1964 Jefferson nickel is, of course, the absence of the mint mark. While some numismatic experts believe this was due to a temporary oversight during production, others suggest that the omission was deliberate, though no official explanation has ever been given. This uncertainty adds to the coin's mystique and intrigue. Collectors are particularly drawn to error coins like these because they represent a piece of history where something went wrong during the minting process, making them unique. The 1964 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is a perfect example of a coin that tells a story of American coinage history and adds an element of intrigue to any collection. Next up, we have the 1944 Jefferson nickel with a large date and a large P mint mark, produced at the Philadelphia Mint. This particular coin is even more special because it features a color change in its circulated condition. Let's break down why this specific version is one of the most sought-after coins among collectors and investors. In 1944, the United States was in the midst of World War II, and the economy was facing significant pressure. The U.S. Mint had to contend with wartime needs for nickel, which was crucial for manufacturing ammunition and other military materials. As a result, the Mint produced a substantial number of nickels that year, but many were later exposed to conditions that led to color changes in their surface. Nickels from this period were produced primarily from a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, but the color change, particularly in circulated coins, can be attributed to exposure to various elements like moisture, oils, and environmental factors over time. Now, let's zoom in on the 1944 P mint-marked Jefferson nickel, which stands as a standout piece in this tumultuous time. The 1944 Jefferson nickel had a mintage of 119 million coins, which by itself would not make it exceptionally rare. However, the distinguishing factor in the value of this coin today is its condition, mint mark, and unique color change, which occurred after years of exposure to the elements. On the obverse of this nickel, we see the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag. Jefferson is depicted with his signature hairstyle and his serious expression, reflecting the dignity and responsibility associated with his role as the third president of the United States. On the reverse side, we find Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia, designed by the same artist, Felix Schlag. The Monticello building is shown with the 5 cents denomination clearly visible beneath it, alongside the coin's mint mark. The 1944 coin features a large P mint mark on the reverse, which, though typical for coins struck in Philadelphia, is significant in this case for a reason we'll discuss shortly. Interestingly, the color change in this particular coin comes from its circulated condition, where exposure to air and other factors altered the nickel's natural shine, making it appear more oxidized, sometimes with a brownish or grayish hue. While the 1944 Jefferson nickel isn't known for major minting errors, there is one particular factor that raises the interest among collectors: the color change. This variation can result from the natural process of oxidation or could be the result of the coin being exposed to specific environmental factors, which over the decades caused a patina that collectors love. The color change adds an extra layer of intrigue and rarity to the coin. Collectors are especially keen on finding these coins in circulated condition with the color change because it can significantly increase their market value compared to regular, non-color changed examples. The color change, though not an official error, gives the coin an unusual and desirable aesthetic that collectors find fascinating. Let's talk about the value. While a typical 1944 Jefferson nickel might fetch around $52,000 in average circulated condition, a 1944 with the large P mint mark and the unique color change can command prices significantly higher. At auctions, these coins can fetch anywhere from $76,000 depending on the degree of the color change, the wear and tear on the coin, and its overall condition. Some particularly well-preserved examples with a more distinct color transformation have even seen prices above $300 in recent years. If you happen to have one of these in your collection, you might be holding on to a rare treasure. Collectors are increasingly seeking out these unique versions of the 1944 Jefferson nickel for several reasons. First, the story behind the coin's production during World War II adds to its allure. The fact that it was produced during a time of global conflict and under such pressure makes it a historical artifact as much as it is a coin. Second, the color change gives it an individual personality, making each coin distinctive. Because of this, the 1944 P-mint Jefferson nickel with a color change is highly prized by both casual collectors and serious investors looking to diversify their collections with rare, condition-sensitive coins. Next up, the 1964 Jefferson nickel. This coin has long been regarded as a must-have for numismatists, and in fine condition, it continues to hold significant value in today's market. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, which had been in circulation since 1913. The design of the Jefferson nickel was created by Felix Schlag, a German-American artist who won a competition to design the new coin. The obverse features a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, and the reverse shows Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. The coin has been minted in various versions over the years, and the 1964 Jefferson nickel is part of a unique period in the coin's history. In 1964, the United States was in a period of transition. While the country was experiencing significant changes in the social and political landscape, the coinage itself was also undergoing transformation. 1964 marks the last year that many U.S. coins were still made using the pre-1965 composition of 90% silver, and it's one of the final years before the mint began to make changes in its coin production, especially as the price of silver skyrocketed. The 1964 Jefferson nickel was produced in large numbers, with a total of over 1.1 billion coins struck, including those from the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. This high mintage number means that many 1964 Jefferson nickels can be found in circulation. But when you look at coins that have survived in fine or extremely fine condition, you're looking at a coin that carries a level of scarcity that boosts its market value. The coin is made from a nickel-copper alloy with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and a weight of 5 grams. The design itself is simple yet elegant. On the obverse, President Jefferson is depicted in a side profile, facing right. His facial features are incredibly detailed, reflecting the precision of Felix Schlag's work. On the reverse, we see Monticello, Jefferson's famous plantation home, prominently displayed with the words Monticello inscribed. It's a design that has remained largely unchanged over decades, providing a sense of continuity and connection to American heritage. The D-mint mark on the 1964 Jefferson nickel signifies it was produced at the Denver Mint, which added an interesting layer to its collectible value. The D-mint mark is relatively common among the 1964 Jefferson nickels, but when you find one in fine condition, it's much rarer. In recent years, the 1964 Jefferson nickel with a D-mint mark in fine condition has seen a steady increase in market value, with coins being valued anywhere from $12,000 depending on the condition and the specific demand. Coins in higher grades, such as very fine or extremely fine, can see prices go higher, sometimes exceeding $16,000 or more. Despite its high mintage, collectors still prize this coin for its historical significance. The Jefferson nickel is a cornerstone of U.S. numismatics, and the 1964 issue stands out for its design maturity and the transition period it represents. Coin collectors, history buffs, and investors alike find value in this coin, making it an appealing choice for any serious collection. While this coin is not as rare as some of the more famous errors or low mintage issues, Its continued demand speaks volumes about the importance of the Jefferson nickel in American coinage. With its combination of historical weight, intricate design, and connection to President Thomas Jefferson, this coin continues to attract the attention of collectors and investors in the numismatic world. For this specific coin, the 1964 Jefferson nickel with a D-mint mark, errors are not as commonly found as in other years, but one notable error type that collectors keep an eye out for is die cracks or off-center strikes. These errors occur during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin has flaws, resulting in slight imperfections in the design. Such errors, especially when found in coins of this type and in fine condition, can significantly increase the value of the coin. Many collectors seek out these errors, as they not only enhance the value but also make the coin even rarer. The 1964 D. Jefferson nickel, despite being mass-produced, still holds a place in the market thanks to the occasional discovery of such errors. Next up is a 1959 Jefferson nickel with a large date and a D-mint mark, which has attracted significant attention due to its black color layer and dirty condition. This nickel might not seem like a pristine collectible, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Let's take a deeper dive into this coin's history and value. The 1959 Jefferson nickel was struck during a significant period in U.S. history. The late 1950s marked a post-war economic boom, and the U.S. Mint was ramping up its coin production to meet the demands of a growing economy. As the decade came to a close, the 1959 nickel saw a large quantity of coins minted, and a distinct pattern emerged as some nickels began to show unusual wear and grime. While most 1959 nickels are fairly standard in terms of design and quality, the black layer seen on some of these coins is a result of years of exposure to environmental contaminants, grime, and other factors that altered their surface. It's a phenomenon that can make seemingly damaged coins quite desirable among collectors. The 1959 Jefferson nickel had a mintage of over 200 million coins across all three mints. While this makes the coin relatively common, it's the specific condition and the black layer on this coin that makes it rare and valuable. The D-mint mark represents the Denver Mint, where this specific coin was struck. Though the 1959 nickel is far from rare in terms of mintage, the dirty condition with its characteristic black coloration is what truly sets it apart in the market. Just like other Jefferson nickels, the 1959 coin features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. On the reverse, we see Monticello, Jefferson's estate, along with the 5 cents denomination and the mint mark beneath it. The presence of the large date and D-mint mark make this coin a product of the Denver Mint. The black color layer, however, gives this particular coin a unique appearance. It's not a design feature by the mint, but rather the result of the nickel reacting to external elements. Over time, the coin may have been exposed to industrial environments, pollutants, or stored in less than ideal conditions, which caused this discoloration. While the black color layer is not a minting error, it is often mistaken for one. The discoloration results from external conditions rather than a flaw in the minting process, but it still captures the attention of numismatists. Despite being in dirty condition, collectors appreciate the rarity of finding a coin in this unique state. The black layer can sometimes make the details less visible, which contributes to the coin's distinctiveness. In fact, coins with such blackened layers often come from environments where they were stored for decades, possibly in old coin rolls or metal containers. Now, let's talk about how much this coin is worth in today's market. The 1959 Jefferson nickel with a D-mint mark in dirty blackened condition might not fetch as much as a pristine coin, but it is still valued higher than average. In poor or circulated condition, a regular 1959 Jefferson nickel might go for around $29,000, but one with this black color layer can go for anywhere between $50,000 at auction, depending on its overall condition and the extent of the discoloration. Coins with more extreme examples of the black color layer have even been sold for upwards of $66,000 as collectors seek out unusual and rare varieties. Just like the 1959 nickel we discussed earlier, collectors are drawn to these coins because of their unique appearance and the story they tell. A coin that has been through years of exposure and still survives in such a distinct state is a testament to its durability and its journey through history. Next up, let's talk about the 1938 Jefferson nickel, a coin that stands out for multiple reasons. The 1938 Jefferson nickel was part of a major redesign, and the large date version is one of the most prized coins among collectors of U.S. nickels. This coin, featuring a striking portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the iconic Monticello building on the reverse, is a must-have for serious collectors. But what makes this particular coin so valuable? Let's dive into the history, design features, and current market trends surrounding this stunning piece of U.S. numismatic history. The history of the 1938 Jefferson nickel begins with a major change in U.S. coinage. In 1938, the United States Mint introduced a new nickel design to replace the older Buffalo nickel. The new design, created by Felix Schlag, was chosen through a public competition. Schlag's design, featuring a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, quickly became one of the most iconic coins in American history. The reverse of the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia, symbolizing his connection to the country's early history. The 1938 Jefferson nickel features an obverse that portrays Jefferson's profile facing to the right. His hair is slightly windswept, and he wears the serious expression that would become synonymous with his image in American history. The legend Liberty is inscribed above his bust, with the year 1938 right beneath it. This large date variety is crucial because it features a noticeably larger number for the year compared to the small date variety. On the reverse, we have a beautiful depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's famous plantation home, along with the words E pluribus unum and United States of America. Below Monticello, you'll find the denomination 5 cents. The building is rendered in high detail, showcasing the architecture and giving the coin a timeless quality. The large date, 1938, with no mint mark, is particularly valued due to its rarity and higher grades. Now let's talk about mintage numbers and the market value of this iconic nickel. The 1938 Jefferson nickel was minted in large quantities, but the large date variety without a mint mark is a rarer version. This variety was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and while the overall mintage for the year was high, the number of coins in fine condition that remain today is relatively low. Coins that are well preserved, especially in fine condition or higher, tend to fetch premium prices at auction. In today's market, a 1938 Jefferson nickel in fine condition can be valued at approximately $100,000, depending on factors like the specific grade, the auction house, and the demand at the time of sale. Coins with a higher grade, like very fine or extra fine condition, could see values reaching well into the $200,000 or more range. However, coins in uncirculated condition or with any unique error will go for significantly higher amounts, potentially even exceeding $210,000 at premium auctions. Over the past few decades, the market value of this coin has shown significant growth. Collectors and investors alike are increasingly seeking out coins from this period, especially those in excellent condition. Many of the Jefferson nickels from 1938 with the large date and no mint mark have experienced appreciation, making them a solid investment for any coin collection. This is one of those coins that, while not the rarest, represents a great balance of rarity, history, and demand. What makes the 1938 Jefferson nickel so popular among collectors is the ongoing interest in the Jefferson series as a whole. While many collectors focus on the more well-known coins like the 1942-41 overdate, the 1938 large date variety holds a unique place in numismatic history. Many collectors aim to complete their Jefferson nickel sets, and this particular year is often considered a key date in the collection. Furthermore, as fewer of these coins are available in high-quality grades, demand continues to rise. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!